Hello, hello, hello. This is a dry dock session today, and I shall call it Willow's Ordeal and a Cables Special. It was originally planned for a Cables Special, but I widened the subject a bit, include Willow's Ordeal as well. And we shall start with the Cables Special. The cables again. As you know, I discovered the existence of these cables at the end of February, and I've shot a few videos about the cables, and I made you all aware about the existence of these cables. They're not there anymore. St. Michael's measuring station has been derobed now, as you well know. I'll bring the cables back up. The cables pictures as it was back then when Nikki was abducted. You can see this is the back of the back of the warehouse, and you can see the three cables stretching across the river wire. I cannot show it often enough how easy it would be to hook someone up here behind the warehouse. The gushing water overshadows any other noise apart from a high-pitched scream. And these are the three cables in a close-up view, and this is probably the best picture I've seen about the cables stretching across the river wire at behind the warehouse. And these cables were submitted to me by someone in the audience called Kelly, and she got them from a website, from a local fisherman's website. I think it's called Just Stuff. And I have to thank this guy for these excellent pictures. He really made a good job out of it. So we leave it at this now and continue with what has actually been going on. As you know, I've showed this a document in the past. It's about a planning application, proposal change of use from dwelling to children's care home. That's for number one allotment lane, and it's been objected by a local resident, saying the cables would be a danger for children playing in this area. So that was the latest we knew about what's going to happen, what happened to these cables. But now Kelly also launched an inquiry under the Freedom of Information Act with the Environment Agency, and she sent them a letter, inquired, and the answer has come back. That's why I placed this video in the first place. And this document here, I'll zoom a bit in. Please find our response to your inquiry below. What date were these removed? These are the cables. The cables were removed on the 25th of March 2025. So we know the day now when St. Michael's measuring station was derobed. It was the 25th of March 25. Next question, what Kelly must have asked: what was the reason for removal? The cables were removed as part of a National Environment Agency project that is looking at the current stock and cableway assets at gauging stations to assess whether they are still required or not, and if they are required, to upgrade them to more recent engineering standards. Phase 1 of this work was to remove the cables at every cableway across England. It's not just St. Michael's. Take this in. Attached is an update from the project in May 25 that can be shared if you wish. Who requested the removal? The National Environment Agency Cableway project that are tasked with understanding the need for and specifications of cableways across the country. Who authorized the removal? The National Environment Agency Cableway project team on behalf of Environment Agency directors. We trust this response answers your inquiry. That's the first document over with. Now we're coming to the second one. This is just the bottom of this of the first page I just showed you. We trust this response answers your inquiry, and then kind regards Rosie Earlham, Customer and Engagement Officer. So that's the second document over with, and now we're coming to the third one, which is here. This document is to provide senior users with an update on progress with the Cableways project and to confirm next steps. Work with our suppliers to derope the Environment Agency's portfolio of cableways started in September 24. Take this in. It all started in September 24, and the final sites were completed in Cumbria earlier this month. Wire ropes were removed from 136 sites across the length and breadth of the country, and means the health and safety risks at these sites has been mitigated, drawing down organizational risk. And organizational risk, that rings a bell, but that's a red flag for me. I'll come back to this in a few minutes. There are a number of sites within the portfolio that still require further work. There are 2 cableway sites that are jointly owned by managed by Natural Resources Wales, the Waterland and Biodiversity Asset Management Team. God, these are complicated words. Are working with NRW to review ownership and responsibilities at these sites. So there are 2 complicated sites, basically. They haven't been completely deroped yet. The latest cableway asset at Saxon's Lodge in the West Midlands had the traveller cables removed and the winch disabled. So the winch would have been freely movable. That's what I take of it, but it requires further works to complete the deroping activity. The cableways and stanchions at this site also carry the cables for the ultrasonic gauge, with work planned to remove all remaining cables in 25-26. The project team would like to thank all senior users who have supported the successful delivery of the project. The provision of this information, attending site meetings, enabling blah blah blah. This is, you can read it yourself. I'll leave it up for another minute. And it shows you the locations in all of England: Southwest, sites deroped 36, Southeast 2, Midlands 20, Northeast 35. I didn't know the Northeast has got so many cabling stations. Greater Manchester and Lancashire, that's where St Michael's would fall under. 18, Cumbria 25. In total 136 sites deroped. We're coming to the last page now. Can we get any information from the last one? Yeah, during early discussions with such and teams about the management of cableways assets, it was identified that some of the sites were no longer used and surplus to our operational requirements. This is typically where site conditions allow remote boats to be used to verify high flow measurements and ratings. So they want to use remote boats instead. That's interesting. You can read the rest for yourself. What's interesting is they want to use remote boats to do the flow measurement. I mean, our ancestors, they might have been a bit backward, and now we've got all these brilliant brains in these agencies. They come up with ideas like they're gonna use remote boats. So basically, Robin Smith at Rowan Water, he launches a boat, and every now and then gets it into the wire and takes flow measurements. It's so much easier, you know. In the past, you just had to winch a device across the river, in the middle of the river, lower it and take measurements. But now they have got brilliant ideas, you know, remote boats. It makes things so much easier. Yeah, they're taking the piss out of us, I think. And why this rush all of a sudden? It was decided in September 24, and they've already been deroped, all of them. Most of them. And back to page 3. Drawing down organizational risk. And there you've got, by the way, I forgot that, you've got the map from all over England where these cable stations were based. Quite a few. So organizational risk, and all of a sudden, all over England, these places have been deroped. I wonder. I mean, I've got a suspicious mind, but might be to do with all these choir boys roaming around England now. And to me, it looks, I'll be honest with you, to me it looks like a terrorism countermeasure to me. It's a red flag. But I leave these thoughts with you. See what you come up with, and that's basically the cable part finished now. What else have I got on my list? Yes, I spotted something I spotted on several videos, and it's to do what the bench area looked like 2 years ago, not what it looked like when I shot my video and went onto the river path, trample path, and across the fence. Remember the 30 centimeter high fence, and then to the bench and towards the brick building. It wasn't quite like that back in those days. I'm talking 2 years ago, January, February 23, even March. And we're gonna have a look into a picture of a screenshot I took from the bench area, and you see here, that's the style here, and I access the river path, the trample path right next to the lower level trample path right next to the riverbank. I accessed it through here. You can see back in those days when Nikki was abducted, the top plank was here, and the bottom plank was also intact. The top plank, when I shot my videos, was missing. The bottom plank was split in half, was lowered down, so it created a 30 centimeter high hurdle. So it wouldn't have been that easy to get over this fence here, but watch what I spotted. It back in those days, 2 years ago when Nikki was abducted, it was even easier. And I'll show you this now. Where have I got the pictures? I've got this lady here. That's for another topic. It's this one here. This Michelle After Dark. I mean, I call her Michelle in the Dark. I'm not going into Michelle After Dark. She's got a different view of the river altogether. She wants to sell us the Sleepy River as a place with terrible currents, and it's dangerous and all that. You see in this picture, you see the style here. Is this the style? Yes. And next to it would have been the one. I'm getting a bit confused now. I mean, this is obviously the style here. and next to it would have been the fence that have access the river path. But look to the left. The left is the south. There's this gap here. Can you see it? You don't even have to get over a fence. Back in those days, you didn't have to get over a fence. And this is from Michelle After Dark's video, An Afternoon in St. Michael's, and it was shot on the 27th of March 23. And I'll show you this picture. What we're looking at is this gap here. That's the style here. That would have been next to it. Would have been the fence that I would have used to access the riverside path. But in those days, you could. There's no barbed wire here. It's on a slant. You have to go down the bank a bit, but then you get through here quite comfortably. Have we got a better picture of this? This is it a bit from a distance. You can see the gap here. And this is about the same. There's Michelle's Springer Spaniel. She's got a Springer Spaniel as well, and you can see the gap here. It's dead easy. What it is, the distance from the fence that I used in my videos to that gap here is about 4 meters. 4 meters to the south, or to the left in this picture, and then you walk through this gap onto the trample path, and the time I calculated would take about, it would add 10 seconds to the time measurements I took, to the timings I took. 10 seconds, maybe 5 seconds down, then 5 seconds back up. It would add at the most 10 seconds. But you would have the advantage, you don't have to not even step over a 30 centimeter fence, you just walk around it. And in my case, I had to step over a 30 centimeter fence. And I say the maximum added time we need is about 10 seconds, which is nothing. It's completely neglectable. So I got all these pictures now. And these pictures you just saw, 1, 2, 3, 4, they were from the 27th of March 23. And Michelle After Dark, she shot another video. It's called At the Scene, and it's from either the 6th or the 7th of February 23. That's when Peter Faulding was around. She started her video showing Peter Faulding's red vehicles at the caravan park, and then further into the video you can see these pictures here. As I say, this is 6th or 7th of February 23, approximately a week after Nikki's abduction. And what it looks like is, you can see the fence in the bench vicinity, and you can walk around. You can walk around here. This is the south side. You can walk around here through this gap. You don't need to negotiate with a fence as I would normally do. This is another picture, same day. I reckon it was Monday the 6th of February. You just walk around here. There's no barbed wire involved, and so it does not change anything. I spotted this when I'm in contact with many people, and they point me to this and that, and I had a look at it, and yes, there was this the fence was intact, the one I used to measure to do the timings, but you could easily just walk around it, which was even easier in my opinion. And that's that subject done with. The fence was not broken, but access from south of the fence. And I'll show you the video from Michelle. I almost forgot that, but I'll show you the video from Michelle now. Not the whole video, obviously, just a small segment of it.
It's doing it, silly.
And watch the gap here. This is the gap we're interested. She's approaching the bench area now. And you can see the gap in her video.
Yeah, I'm going to investigate this field. That's funny.
Watch the gap. Dead easy in my opinion. I mean, you probably come up with a different conclusion. This is the intact fence, which when I used it was broken. But you can see here, if it's 4 meters, then it's a lot from there to down to the south to the corner.
I've got to take a final screenshot, 14:05.
If it's 4 meters, I would say between 3 and 4 meters. Added time, maximum 10 seconds. And then, what have we got next? Then I have decided to include Willow's Ordeal. That's been ticking on my mind for quite some time. What on earth happened to Willow on this morning? And before we go there, I'll show you the DJE's media, Curtis Arnold. In my opinion, the most important video is shot in the Nicola Bulley case, more important than the one he shot in the caravan park. And this is a gentleman from Rowan Water. I'm not sure who it is. Might be Robin Smith, but I'm just guessing. But he's a gentleman from Rowan Water, and he explains to us what happened, what Willow did when she was found.
Hi, you're right. You're right.
The general information is when the dog was found, it was running from the bench to the skate.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not true.
Is it not?
The dog was trying to get over that stile.
Oh, okay.
On this park here.
Oh, Rowan Water. Yeah.
And that's it. Now you've got the information. The door. Willow did not try to get through the kissing gate. Willow tried to get over the stile. And over the stile for a dog like Willow, he would be on the upper trample path, and upper and lower trample path, they're just separated by a barbed wire fence. The bottom of this fence is not barbed wired. It's a smooth wire at the bottom, so that animals do not hurt themselves. It's got a big gap. So over the stile, and then she would have went under the fence onto the lower trample path and followed her mum's scent. That's something to take in. And now I've came up with some scenarios. I have to explain this first. I get shot of this video first, and then I explain to you what happened to me on Wednesday. On Wednesday, cables updates. We've got that. Yeah, we've got all that now. We're coming to a document now, a text document. But before I go into it, I was on a day out on Wednesday, just 2 days ago, in Whitby. And great day out with my mates, but I like to be I like to have my own space now and then. I got myself a big fish and chips. I'm a vegetarian, but once in a year when I'm in Whitby, I eat a fish and chips once in a year. Got myself this tray, it's in a foldable thingy, it's delivered, and got myself to a quiet bench overlooking the river. And I tucked away, and all of a sudden, a seagull comes in flight from top right-hand side, knocks my tray out of my hands, the fish and most of the chips on the ground, and all of a sudden 20 odd seagulls dived onto my fish and chips. And it was gone 5-7 seconds. It was all clean. It was gone. And I sat there with my half. It was pretty much empty tray. I had some chips left. So I says, fuck, shit like this can only happen to me. I says, shit happens. I've got a coin. I get myself another one. So I did. And it cost fish and chips in Whitby £12.50. So I bought another one. It cost me 25 quid altogether. And the second time I sat there, opened the lid, picked things out, closed the lid again, because all these seagulls circling above me, waiting for their chance to dive in. And so I finished most of it, and the rest I fed to the seagulls. And unbelievable. So I basically got mugged in Whitby in broad daylight by a seagull, right? And this is not the end of it. Then I got myself an ice cream, chocolate ice cream cone. And I stood at the railing at the river, and my head was going into overdrive, thinking about the Willow scenarios, steam coming out of my ears. And I had my ice cream was half finished, and all of a sudden another, if it was the same or not, another seagull comes and snaps my cone out of my hand, and off it went. And so I've been mugged twice in broad daylight in Whitby on Wednesday, and it wasn't 5 machete blokes, it was seagulls. So I went into a pub, and I spotted my mates, and I told them the story, and they just laughed the heats off, as if I were a Trigger from Only Fools and Horses. And on that, when it happened to me, I felt like fucking Clouseau, but I came up with some good scenarios on that day. As I say, my brain was working overtime, and I'll let you know these scenarios now, what Willow might have went through on this morning. And I've got someone, I'm still in touch with Sand Dancer from South Shields, Bella is her name. We sent texts back and forward, and I told her about my scenarios, and I basically tested my scenarios. What would someone think of it before I go public? And she says scenario 3 is a good one, she thinks. So I have decided I will tell you these scenarios I came up with. First one, Michelle's Springer Spaniel, Michelle after dark, I think she calls her Springer Tessa or something like that, managed to jump over the stile, no problem, back and forward. She got through under the kissing gate. It's in one of her videos, and she got through under the fence left to the kissing gate, and that's what I show you now in this picture here. That's the kissing gate, and Michelle's dog, she went in here, and she managed to crawl on her belly underneath the kissing gate, and she also managed this bit here. See this gap here in the fence, in the wooden fence next to the kissing gate. She used the bottom hole, and she got through there, no problem whatsoever. Where was I? Yes. Michelle's Springer Spaniel, Tessa, she got through no problem. So what stopped Willow from getting over the fence? That were my first thoughts. What stopped Willow from getting over the stile? I've got 4 topics. One is pepper sprayed. The next one is tranquilized, temporarily immobilized. The third one is beaten, scared and traumatized. And the fourth one is tied up, which I think in combination with pepper sprayed is the most likely one. And from these initial thoughts, I developed it a bit further. I work like this. I put myself into the boots of these bastards and think, if I would have had to pull this off, not that I mean, you know where I'm coming from. If I was one of them, what would I have been doing with Willow? What did they do with Willow? My question is, where were Nikki and Willow separated? There's two options: at the bench, which is most likely. That's what I would have opted for. Tied up and pepper sprayed or tranquilized. From the assailant's point of view, it would look as if Nikki tied her up, then went into the river and committed suicide. That's the first one. The second spot where they could have been separated, Nikki and Willow, is behind the warehouse. In my opinion, unlikely. Willow would have been allowed to follow the assailants to the warehouse. Then Willow got separated from Nikki and the assailants when they winched across the river. Then she was roaming free in the yews and fields. From the assailant's point of view, it would look like an accident. Still is unlikely because Willow could have barked on the way to the warehouse and given away the abduction route. And now I come up with three scenarios. And Bella from the Sound Dancer, she says to me, Sound Dancer says to me, Geordie bastard, your third scenario is not bad, but we're coming to scenario 1 now. Willow was tied up and pepper sprayed or tranquilized at the bench at 9:20. Penny comes over the stile at 9:33 and finds Willow tied up. Take this in. Penny was then made to change her story because it looks like suicide. Satan would have whispered into her ear, think of the family and so forth. The morality card was played. She was made to say that she found Willow roaming about. Then she tied her up with a string. The string was magically produced out of nowhere. That way it looks like accidental death. And Richard Fife was brought in as a backup. He was made to say that he was in the field between 9:15 and 9:20. Even though he was CCTV'd in the allotment lane at 8:50 leaving the field. That's scenario 1. Scenario 2 of Willow's ordeal. Willow was tied up at the bench at 9:20. Then she wriggles herself free and follows the assailants to the warehouse. The assailants would have been behind the warehouse at around 9:31 by my calculation, and Nikki was winched across by my calculation at 9:36. If Willow was chased away from the warehouse at 9:31, probably beaten, then she could have returned to the bench where Penny finds her at 9:33. Penny ties her up and then Willow tries to get back over the stile. That's what was witnessed by the people around when they slowly appeared, and Willow was tied up and she tried to get back over the stile. And now we come to scenario 3, which Sound Dancer finds not bad. Scenario 3, Willow was tied up at the bench and pepper sprayed at 9:20. At around 9:25, she managed to wriggle herself free. Still not capable of picking up scent because she was pepper sprayed. Just pure. Instinctively, Willow gets under the kissing gate and runs along the towpath to the iron bridge. It's the path she has walked with her mum hundreds of times before. She thought her mum went back that way where they always came from. And in the earlier reports in the Nicola Bulley case, for those who remember, it was said that Willow was seen on Blackpool Road in the vicinity of the bridge, running on the road. If you remember this from the very early stages in the Nicola Bulley case, there were reports coming in that Willow was seen roaming on Blackpool Road in the vicinity of the bridge. Willow cannot find her mum and returns to the lower field to check up on her mum again. Penny finds her at the bench at 9:33 and ties her up with the same string she was tied up before by the assailants. According to my information, Willow's lead was never found and was possibly used on Nikki. Willow by now picks up scent of a moment, tries to get over the stile. So that's scenario 3. Could Willow have managed scenario 3? Absolutely. Think of Scottish national hero doggy Greyfriars Bobby. For those who know it, there will be some of you who know it. So Willow has never caused an accident. She is not to be blamed for anything. Paul rehomed her despite knowing how much Nikki loved Willow, her third daughter. And I say shame on Paul Ansel. He might not be involved, but shame on him in regards to Willow. So that's Willow's ordeal over with. Have I got something? Oh yes, I forgot to show you a picture where Willow would have, when she went towards the Iron Bridge and went onto Blackpool Road. That's the Iron Bridge, that's Blackpool Road in the background, and that's the gate that would normally stop people from, well, it slows them down. But see, it's got holes in it all over. It's just got 1, 2, 3 planks to strengthen it. Willow would have just went underneath, out there, and later on back in. So that's Willow now completed. Have I forgotten anything again? No, I think I've got everything now. So I'll just give you an update now what else is going on. I'm having my summer break, to be honest, but I'm currently writing on the script for the next video, which I think will be the last one. It will be the roundup, the cover up, and all that. And it will be called Phantom Tales, where I'm the Phantom, obviously, and I tell the tales. Because unlike Curtis Arnold, I was never in the limelight. I was always the Phantom in the background. That's where the idea is coming from. So it's Phantom Tales. It will be called. I'm writing on the script. I've got an associate from down south now. I reckon he's from the London area. Very intelligent man. He works on the case since the beginning of the Nicola Bulley case. Very softly spoken. I don't know. He comes over like a solicitor, to be honest, and I don't know how I ended up with him, but he's of much help. I can tell you that he's excellent. He comes up with good ideas. So I call him my associate, and we will be meeting very shortly. Sandancer is in touch with me. I exchanged texts, emails with Sandancer, Bella, to test certain scenarios, and also inform her about other things, because she's quite switched on. Unusual for a Sandancer, but stop it, man, stop it now. Someone, and then something for you to digest. Someone local, yes, from Lancashire, from not far from St Michael's, got in touch with me and requested a meeting with me. This someone has got. At first, I thought this is nothing, and I let my associate from down south. His name is Mike, by the way. I let him deal with her, and he was on the phone to her for 45 minutes, and he came back to me and says it's worth it. She knows a lot. She knows all the local information. She knows some of the actors in this case. She knows them, yes. She knows one of the main actors in this case. She knows an awful lot. And we've arranged a meeting, Mike and myself, and with this person it's a local, not from St. Michael's, but not from far away. And she knows an awful lot of people. She knows the insides, and there will be prepare yourself for some news and for some gossip to come out. I don't know. I will have to ask that person for permission to report on certain things. So I hold my horses at the moment. But I reckon there's a lot to come out. One main actor, that person knows one of the main actors in the Nicola Bulley case, and some others as well. And yes, there will be news. We shall be meeting not long from now on, and depending on the situation, I mean, Phantom Tales will not be ready for I would say for another 2 months or so, depending on the situation, what we get to know on that day when we meet that person. Then there might be another dry dog session, and yes, for now, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover, and I'm going to wish you a good weekend, and I hope you enjoyed the dry dog session. How long did I take? 41 minutes. I'd better stop it now because I don't want it to get too long. And I wish you a good weekend, and I shall see you shortly again with a Northern Tara. It's a goodbye. Yeah, just one more thing, as Lieutenant Colombo would be saying, I always seem to forget something. When Mike, myself, and that person from the local area meet shortly, I will be shooting sequences on the way down, and in the area of St. Michael's, not in St. Michael's itself. Don't expect me to be in St. Michael's. Not that soon. I won't be there, but in the surrounding area, and it's not the airfield. I will shoot some sequences of Phantom Tales. Yes, and that meeting is not in the too distant future. The three of us. And it will be in a rather remote place. Mike got to be a bit concerned because I mentioned there might be 5 machete blokes waiting, but this will not be. It's in a bit remote place, and it's not Skippool Creek car park. It's in a rather remote place, but. Not that remote either, but yeah, it won't be long till we meet, and there might be news coming out about some of the characters involved. So again, it's a good weekend, and ta-ra.